Prime Big Deal Days is coming October 8th and 9th. Woohoo! Which can lead to involuntary deal squeals, like the infamous deal on a new massager squeal. Yeah! Save big on Prime Big Deal Days, October 8th and 9th.
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Do you have a point of sale system you can trust, or is it a real POS? You need Shopify for retail. From accepting payments to managing inventory, Shopify POS has everything you need to sell in person. Go to shopify.com/system, all lowercase, to take your retail business to the next level today. That's shopify.com/system.
Want to make a podcast? Spotify's got a platform that lets you make one super easily, distribute it everywhere, and even earn money, all in one place for free. It's called Spotify for Podcasters, and here's how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and edit your podcasts right from your phone or your computer. So no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating today. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else podcasts are heard. Video podcasts are also available on Spotify, and when you want to take conversations with your fans to the next level, Q&As and polls are the best way to get them talking. With Spotify for Podcasters, you can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions. Ever since I discovered Spotify for Podcasters, I feel so supported in the creation and distribution of my show. Spotify for Podcasters hosts masterclasses, office hours, and more to help creators develop and fine-tune their skills. I highly recommend you give it a try. Download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to spotify.com/podcasters to get started. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the show. Thank you so much for clicking on this episode. This episode is 8 rules that girl follows for a better life. It was inspired by a post that my dad actually sent me on Instagram, and it was from the Daily Stoic, and it was 8 rules that you should follow for a better life. We all kind of have our own criteria, our own guidelines for our lives, and it was kind of a fun activity for me to put pen to paper and write down rules that I follow that I think enhance my life, and I would definitely encourage you guys to do the same. But today I'm going to share 8 of my rules for a better life with you guys, and like I said, I encourage you to make your own lists. Like, use this as inspiration, and then maybe it's like a fun journaling activity for you to kind of give you guys a little bit of like a life update. I'm currently at home at my parents' house in Ocean City, and anytime I come back home, I realize how much I miss home. And it's such an interesting concept because I was so excited to leave when I moved out, but now I'm always so excited to come home. I just feel like the pace is slower down here. It's the Eastern Shore of Maryland, and there's like so much farmland around. It is just so chill. And today I was just like driving through all the windy back roads, and I've decided that this summer, kind of going into my like slow living era, healing girl summer, etc., I'm going to have a Miley Stewart summer. It really blew up on TikTok probably like this time last year, and it's from the Hannah Montana movie when Miley goes back to Tennessee for the summer and she just learns to slow down. It kind of like grounds her, brings her back down to earth, and that's the vibe that I think I need for summer 2023. So I feel like I'm going to spend more time down here than I did last year. At least I'm hopeful that I will. And even like if I'm up in Annapolis, just kind of doing things more slow and connecting with nature and grounding. And I've been wearing my shoes less, which is exciting. That's really helpful. So I'm going to just kind of get into like my chill girl era. If you guys have been listening to the past couple episodes of the podcast, you know that I'm kind of gearing up for, I'm very much so gearing up for season 7. And the theme of season 7 is going to be healing girl summer. So I'm super pumped for that. And it's off to a good start. I'm feeling kind of chatty this morning. I've got a Rise Up coffee in front of me. I started my day at yoga, and I figured I would just share a couple recent stories with you guys. First and foremost, I don't know what this means for me. Maybe it just means that I need to slow down. Like the world is just kind of curbing me. But I got my second flat tire in a 2-week time frame yesterday. Does that make sense? My second tire in 2 weeks yesterday. Yeah, that does make sense. And it's so funny because I've never gotten, actually I take that back. I got a flat tire when I was like 16, and that was because I hit a curb. These 2 tires were not my fault. It was just nails. So it's really bizarre that it happened twice in like a 2-week time frame. I'm telling you guys this because it's just kind of weird. I got my first flat tire of this experience on a Saturday morning. I was getting coffee, and then I got in my car, I was parallel parked, I got in my car, and then I started driving, and my car like dinged. It was like check tire pressure, and things were dragging in weird places, and I was like, this isn't good. So I pulled into a parking lot, and I was like, okay, sure as shit, that is a very flat tire. And then a friend of mine came and he changed my tire for me, which was super sweet. And then I got it fixed. What's super weird about my second flat tire is that I was at Rise Up yesterday. I was working all day, and then I got in my car to go home, and my car did the same thing, like check tire pressure. It was a different tire though. It was my back passenger side opposed to my driver's side front. Prior to my car telling me to check tire pressure, I was thinking about a couple different things, and then it kind of like dominoed into, oh, it was so nice that that friend came and switched that tire. In that same moment that I thought to myself, it's so nice of that friend to come and switch that tire, my tire became flat. So there's probably no correlation. I didn't like think this like into existence or anything like that. It was just such a weird coincidence that it happened at the same exact time that I like thought about this person, and then my tire became flat. So bizarre. So I don't know what that means. I'm not going to read into it. I don't think that it's correlated whatsoever, but I was just like, that is so bizarre. So anyway, I conveniently pulled into, I was just like, okay, nearest parking lot, here we go. Took a right turn, and conveniently I pulled into a tire shop, literally a car repair place, a tire shop. I was like, I could not have gotten more lucky. So I just walked in and I handed them my keys and I said, hey, I got a flat tire. They're like, did you drive here on a flat tire? I was like, not intentionally, but yes. And then they changed it for me. Sweet people there. And while I was waiting for my tire to get fixed, I did a Q&A on my Instagram story because I was like, just going to kill some time. I was supposed to go get a pedicure with my mom, and that didn't happen, obviously, because I couldn't make it because I had a flat tire. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to kill some time. I'm going to talk to my people on Instagram. And I will just say the energy was off yesterday online. It was a very, very weird energy from a creator perspective. Sometimes you put up a Q&A and you get the most juicy, thoughtful, like the coolest questions ever. And it's so fun to answer those because it's like people are super involved and whatnot. And sometimes you get questions and they're just like run of the mill, like, hey, can you show us a picture of, you know, one of the things was like April 20th. Can you show us what you're working on? And all this stuff. And I think from a creator's perspective, that has to do directly with what I'm sharing at the moment. Like if I want to kind of create a really good Q&A in the days leading up to it, I have to share a lot. So people are kind of thinking like, what exactly do I want to ask her? What do I want to know? Do I want to know more about this? But lately I've been sharing a lot about like projects that are coming up and just like miscellaneous things. And so I wasn't really like cooking up a good Q&A. I wasn't planning on doing a Q&A. And so just kind of throwing it up there and not having it lined up properly the days prior, like oversharing to some degree, I feel like made it weird questions. The energy with this Q&A was really off. And I haven't had like a weird internet experience in a long time because I feel like you guys, my audience, does a really, really good job of just being so kind. I feel like we've cultivated a really cool community. But for some reason, I was getting like the weirdest questions, kind of almost like borderline rude. And I know that you can't tell tone of voice online. It was just really weird. And so I'm only saying this because I think it's a good reminder that the people that are behind the screen, it doesn't matter if I have a K at the end of my followers, I probably see almost everything. I'm always checking DMs. I'm always checking, I see all the questions that you guys ask. I always want my online spaces to be positive, happy places. And if you can't reciprocate the same energy, you probably shouldn't be there. Like I said, most people are fantastic. Most of my community is incredible, but unfortunately there are like a couple bad apples in every bunch. Like it's so crazy to me that like I can come on the mic and be so vulnerable, but people still just don't get it. I don't really want to waste any more time trying to get people to understand me who are committed to misunderstanding me. I don't know, I'm kind of just ranting at this point, but just know that most of your favorite creators probably see what you say. So be kind, use your best judgment, and know that like I'm literally posting a Q&A about having a flat tire. I'm clearly having a bad day. Don't be fucking mean to me. So that's that. Be kind always. Maybe that should be like my number one. Isn't that the golden rule? Treat people how you want to be treated. That's a good segue into today's whole episode theme. 8 rules that girl follows for a better life. The bonus rule today is treat people how you want to be treated. It wasn't on my list, but that is a very, very solid, good rule. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself now, but I did have like one quick announcement, more like logistically speaking. There is no new episode next week, but that is because I'm taking next week off in preparation for a very, very, very incredible season 7. But because there's no episode, I do have a little bit of a treat for you guys, and that is the fact that my website is going to be live again, which is really exciting. Took my website down for probably the past 6 months. I've been redoing it. I started a newsletter, which is exciting. So if you guys want to subscribe to that, you can subscribe in the show notes. And I've totally revamped my website. It's got new resources on there for you guys. I'm going back to my roots and starting my blog again. The cookbook is available, and a new resource called the Lucky Girl Workbook is also available for you guys. I'll talk more about all this stuff in the launch of season 7 episode, but I just wanted to give you guys a sneak peek. So as you're listening to this, I'll just make it live right now. Why wait any longer? I'll literally just make it live right now. So you can go to lilyraco.com, check it out. I think it's ready. If it's not, I'll just work hard tonight. But yeah, it's just about ready. Or I'll make pages private until they are ready. But I'm antsy to get it out there for you guys. So the website will be live as you guys are listening to this. Link is in the show notes. It's just lilyraco.com. And I'm just excited for all the new stuff that's happening, the new chapter that we're entering into. I feel like everyone is just kind of in need of, I don't know, the type of healing where you're reading all the personal development books and you're hitting the gym and you're just checking all the boxes, but you're not actually healing. I think that is kind of going to the wayside, and we're just really focused on holistic healing. And that's what I'm most excited about for the summertime. So the website's just one little piece of that. Let's go ahead and do some shout outs. I haven't done these in a while, but I want to bring them back. There is a segment or I guess it's a room in our 80/20 group chat, and it's called Shoutouts. One of my favorite things to do is just to cheer you guys on. So I'm going to read a couple things that you guys are up to lately. Isabella finished her last final of nursing school. Laura says, shout out to me and my mom this morning for realizing that I need to give myself grace and kindness, that I deserve to take things slow. Darn right. That's such a good realization to have. It's the most freeing thing ever. Audrey says, this week I did a good job listening to my body and appreciating every part of myself. Maddie said that she's on her way to her conference where she's nominated for an award, and Mia just finished her first year of college. And a ton of you guys responded to that and said me too. So just super, super cool to cheer you guys on. I love seeing what you guys are up to. And I guess I'll give myself a little bit of a shout out because I don't think I do that often enough. Why is this always hard? This is why I started this, because I do a bad job of cheering myself on. But I think I'm gonna have to say shout out to myself for, I don't want to sound materialistic or Barbie doll-ish, but shout out to me for putting self-care first for the first time in a long time. And I'm talking the stereotypical self-care, getting my hair done, getting my nails done, getting a spray tan. I've just started to put in a little bit more effort because I have the energy to put in and kind of the time to put in more effort. It's crazy. Getting your hair done can change your whole personality. And I got my hair done last week and I've just been feeling so much better. And I don't know, it's just, I'm speaking from personal experience here because I'm the type of person that literally I would let my hair go. I would just I don't really care about all this stuff. If I could wear Lulu leggings all day long, I would be so happy. Getting your hair done, getting your nails done, it just makes you feel good. And so I've been doing those things, and I just kind of feel it's fun to be a little girly sometimes. And I'm not the most girly girl, but I'm also not a total tomboy. And it's just kind of fun to let myself be a little bit of a Barbie doll sometimes. So that is what I'm going to give myself a shout out for. Just because it's fun and it's different and it's out of my norm, and I feel good about it. Let's go ahead and do a little quote of the week. So as you guys know, I read Journey to the Heart every morning, and the passages this month have been stellar. They have been incredible, and I have such a hard time picking just one that I want to share with you guys. So if you don't read Journey to the Heart and you just want a little morning motivation or a morning thought, you definitely should order it. I'll have it linked in the show notes. I've kind of been skipping around a little bit too. So I read this one the other day, but it's perfect because it's May 18th, which is the day that this episode is going live. It says, love all of yourself. And I won't read you guys the full thing, but the part that I highlighted is this: learn to love the way you handle things. Love your unique way of learning, growing, and seeing. Love where you've been, love what you've done, love where you are, and love what you're doing right now. Love how you look, smell, and feel. Love the color of your eyes, the color of your hair, the radiance in your heart. Love how you laugh, love how you cry, love your mistakes, and love all the good you've done. Love it all, love all of you. If that resonates with you, great. It definitely resonates with me. If it doesn't, that's okay too. It's not always gonna hit for everybody, but that really hit home. That's a huge part of my life right now, is just learning to love all parts of me, no matter what I'm going through, no matter what mindset I wake up in, no matter, what other people are thinking and feeling about me. That's something big for me too. Like, scrolling through Instagram and seeing just like kind of people being like snippy and sassy with me, I'm like, that impacts me so much because I am highly sensitive. What other people say, what other people think, that is so out of my control, and they're so wrong because they see 2%, if that, of my life. They don't know me. I'm the one that knows me, and even people who are, in my life, or maybe they were in my life and now they project things, and like, the only person that really knows me are me and the people like closest to me in my circle. And so something that's really big for me is making sure that I love me, and I'm not asking for other people to do that, because that's my job. Happiness, love, etc., that is an inside job. It's nobody else's responsibility. I have to do the work, and that's totally up to me.
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Do you have a point of sale system you can trust, or is it a real POS? You need Shopify for retail. From accepting payments to managing inventory, Shopify POS has everything you need to sell in person. Go to shopify.com/system, all lowercase, to take your retail business to the next level today. That's shopify.com/system.
This episode of 80/20 is brought to you by Athletic Greens. It's no secret that I take AG1 literally every single day. And I originally gave AG1 a try because I was just looking for an easier way to take supplements. And Athletic Greens AG1 gives me exactly that. In just one scoop, my body absorbs 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, and whole food sourced superfoods with the best ingredients that give me incredible benefits like gut support, boosted energy, and even healthier looking hair, skin, and nails. I've probably been taking Athletic Greens for about a year now, and it's definitely just one of those habits that's ingrained itself into my daily routine. And it's probably the one habit that is the healthiest and the quickest thing that I do for myself every single morning. And I'm definitely not the only one who thinks this, because AG1 has been a part of millions of mornings since 2010. And because of AG1, taking care of my body every single day has become incredibly simple. If you're looking for an easier way to take supplements, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/8020. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/8020. Check it out. So let's dive into 8 rules that girl follows for a better life. You guys kind of know my idea about that girl. She is whatever the best version of you is, that is that girl, and that girl looks different for everyone. When my website does go live, you guys can download something called the Lucky Girl Workbook, and this workbook takes you through 4 journaling sessions that kind of help you design like the luckiest, best that girl version of yourself. So if you are just questioning in any way, shape, or form who you are or who you want to be, this workbook is for you. These are actual journal prompts that I used when I stepped away from my past role and I'm kind of stepping into this new version of myself. I used these prompts to figure out who the heck am I, and it was super, super helpful. So I kind of put everything into a nice little journal for you, and it's on my website. So that'll be linked in the show notes. That girl is whoever you design her to be, and that's just one resource that can help you. This is my version of that girl, and these are my rules that I think she follows, that I know she follows. One of my favorite things is just sitting back and observing. I've been told that I'm a good listener. I've also been told that I kind of have a way of prying information out of people. And I think that comes simply just sitting back and observing. Oftentimes we want to fill silence with more chatter, and it doesn't matter what the chatter is, but we feel like, if you're sitting in the car with someone and maybe the radio's not on, you feel like you have to keep talking. But oftentimes when you just sit back and observe, whether it's observing what's out the window or observing this person and how they behave, you can learn a lot about the world around you just from looking at it and listening and not always adding your 2 cents. I would definitely have to say that my first rule is learn the power of observation, and you would be surprised the stuff that people share with you when you just give them space. One of my favorite questions to ask my friends is, do you want advice or do you want me to listen? And I think that kind of sets the stage for a really cool experience for both of you, because they get to choose how you respond and you get to most of the time just observe. And I don't think that we give people space to just speak and be heard enough. My second rule is a little more fun, or is it? I don't know. It depends on how you look at this. First dates always happen in public. I say this because it's kind of a good way to phrase, no, you're not coming back to my place, to a guy who's like, hey, let's go back to your place. I always just fire back with, so I've actually got a rule. You got to make it like a little bit flirty, but like, so listen, I actually have a rule that first dates happen in public. It kind of does multiple things. First off, I think it's fun to kind of like, I don't want to use the word tease because that's not correct in this sense, but it's fun to just like go on a date and like not have an expectation that something's going to happen after the date. But if you are really into this guy, you guys can go on a second date and then maybe a third, and you can kind of like build whatever you have going on. And then eventually, if things go beyond just the date, then it's kind of more fun because you guys, like, this is a stranger. Most of the time on first dates, you don't know this person. No shame, no hate, no shade if you do decide to take them home. But after many experiences where it just never went the way that I wanted it to go, I made a rule that first dates happen in public. Rule number 3 is to document life. Not in the annoying way where your phone is always out and your friends are always annoyed at how many pictures you're taking. Or I think to like family gatherings when everyone's like, let's get a picture, and you spend like 20 minutes arranging everyone in the photo and nothing, and someone's blinking and someone's talking and it's just a pain in the ass. Like, not like that. I want you to document life in a way that's meaningful to you. For some people, it's keeping a journal. For some people, it's snapping a candid photo. For some people, it's vlogging their life and making YouTube videos. For some people, it's a podcast. For some people, it's just like filming home videos. We live in such a cool time frame where there are so many ways to document your life. And I just find it so cool to be able to look back. Obviously, don't be annoying about it and make sure that you spend time in the present moment, but find a way to capture the memories. One of my favorite ways to do this, when someone walks into my apartment in Annapolis, Lexi and I have a rule that you have to get a Polaroid taken of you and we put it up on the wall. We've definitely slipped up on many, many occasions, but when you go and you look at the wall, it's like the coolest thing to be like, oh my gosh, that was such a fun night. Like, we made cookies this night, or this was the night with the movie night with all those girls, and it's just so fun. So find little ways to document your life how you see fit and make your own traditions and whatnot with the people in your life, but just make sure that you're kind of like snapping memories. And I feel like life just goes by too fast. Rule number 4 is to be incredibly careful with who you share information with. I'd probably say the past 6 months, I've really become incredibly cautious with who I share things with. And I would say I'm still a pretty open book, considering I share most of my life with the internet. But there are just things and people that don't have your best intentions in mind. I know I'm definitely the type of person that's way too trusting, and I've definitely put my guard up in the past couple months, and it's a blessing and a curse, because now I'm kind of in a state where I'm like, I don't know who to trust. I'm definitely working on that. I think it's for the better, because I was too trusting for a while. I would definitely overshare and let people in on things before those things were ready, and just kind of like I don't like give away too many of my secrets. And like, yeah, it's fun to leave some mystery and keep the people guessing, but it's also really cool to protect your own energy by not telling everyone everything. Number 5 is that you have to have a hobby outside of work and outside of your niche or your job or whatever. For me, this one's really, really hard because I am obsessed with what I do, but I also know that if I do it too much, I burn out, and it doesn't take much for me to burn out these days. So I've tried to just pick up other hobbies that don't involve podcasting or involve the internet. I used to like always read all these self-development books and all this stuff, but when you're just always trying to improve yourself, you just kind of come to a standstill because you're like, what do I do? Like there's so much advice coming at me in so many different directions. I have no direction. Number 6 is to get outside every single day. Even if it's raining, I try to just like sit underneath of a covered balcony or something like that and just be outside. It is such a mood booster. I will take the phrase go touch grass a little bit too seriously. If I'm feeling like I'm just sitting behind a computer for too long, or if I'm feeling like life is just getting out of hand, I will go take my shoes off and I will go walk outside. Kind of in the same category as that, rule number 7 is that a workout will probably solve your problem. And I'm not using this in the way that fitness is like a punishment, but in the way that movement is medicine. Today I was in a yoga class. I went to Dawn's class at Yoga Vibes. If you guys are in Ocean City at all this summer, go to Yoga Vibes, go to Dawn's class. She's the best. I mean, all the Yoga Vibes teachers are the best. I'm super biased. That's like where I learned how to do yoga, but Dawn's the owner. She's great. And she posed the question, it wasn't really a question. She just asked us to feel our emotions. And she said, just note how you feel now. And to be honest, I was kind of angry. I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. There's just some other stuff going on in my personal life. And I was just kind of like angry. I came into class with this angry energy. When she said, feel your emotions, I was like, you know what? I'm angry and I'm kind of confused. And those are the 2 big emotions that are coming up for me right now. And she asked us to feel our emotions. She had us do a little bit of breath work. We did breath of joy. So it was like lots of hand motions. And, halfway through class, she asked us to feel our emotions again. And she asked, do you feel different? And of course I felt different at that point. I was super sweaty. I was really just in the weeds of the class and I felt different because I was moving. Now, if I had just woken up on the wrong side of the bed and started my day, I don't think I would be as energetic right now. I don't think I would be as happy as I am right now. I don't think I would be out of that bad mood, to be completely honest. And after that class, I was sweaty and I had moved my body for an hour and I didn't feel any of those things. It had completely faded away. Rule number 8 is one that I've recently developed because, like I mentioned throughout this episode a little bit, I've spent a lot of my life thus far working on myself, which, trust me, is not a bad thing. I am definitely a work in progress. And as fun as self-improvement is, you have to step away from it and live in the moment rather than always working to level up. Because if you're always working to level up, you can't actually enjoy your life because you're just wishing to be somewhere that you're not. And so you're never going to be happy. I think just pausing and realizing that, I can work on myself while simultaneously enjoying where I am now. It's a really weird concept, but once you kind of put your head around the fact that you don't always have to be working on yourself, life just gets a little bit easier. So those are my 8 rules that girl follows for a better life. Like I said at the beginning of this episode, I highly encourage you guys to do this exercise for yourself. Maybe just jot down like some of your core values or things that you're feeling right now, what's kind of like dropping down for you right now. Scroll Pinterest, do whatever you have to do. But I definitely think just having some core principles, guidelines for your life is super important. So use this as inspiration, take what you want, leave what you don't. Definitely be sure to subscribe if you aren't already. You don't want to miss out. Leave a rate, leave a review, and that just helps more people find and listen to the show. Love you guys so much, and I will talk to you soon.